not, but interdisciplinary arts.
What's that, like PE with a paintbrush?
It's like I missed underwater basket weaving with
Guys,
shirt making. I don't know.
No, you know what it is? I can make this analogy very easy for you because you're in Orlando, correct?
Yes.
You are in the Discovery Zone with at Epcot with that big crazy dragon and the guy with the big beard. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'm going with you on this journey. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, anybody who's listening, if you were at Epcot in the 80s or 90s, it was just like this magical dude that put you, I don't know. I'm saying that you get to choose your own adventure. That's what my college is. It was a choose your own adventure college.
Gotcha.
And instead of having get taught information that you regurgitate onto a test and then you forget about, and you make sure that you hit all those requirements through all 4 years, Hampshire gave you a year of doing that to basically figure out what you wanted to do, and then put you on a path of my final stuff in college was a paper on booking management, a business proposal for starting a boutique booking agency using my own band as research. So I got to take my band on tour for 3 months and use it as research, and was in school the whole time, not doing classes, but on tour and getting credit for it. And you're able to study on your own, and basically if I wanted to spend even more money and go to a graduate school, I could get in.
See, that sounds like a cool thing. I had a business degree, and it was like I took accounting. I would have loved to go. What are you doing? What are you doing for class day? Smoking and drinking and sleeping around. It's great.
Yeah, no, I wasted college. I have a degree in political science and legal studies. I can't tell you one thing I learned in political science now at this point. Like, I know the word hegemon. That's it. That's it. That's
I can
really
work a
all I got.
spreadsheet.
And the only reason you remember that is because your hand and your head was in your hand on the desk, and you were just saying it, giggling to yourself because you're hungover.
Hegemon. It sounds like hedgehog.
That's cool, man. Oh, my head hurts.
Now, Danny, I mentioned it's funny because Danny and I talked a couple days ago, and I'm talking about some legal issues with him, and I want to see what legal issues, because this is a legal show, and as somebody who did a lot of entertainment law, I asked him about his pension. And I said, is that pension when you die, does it go to your wife, or does it go in a fund or anything? And there was a pause.
Much like that pause still, because I didn't get to it. I didn't get to it, and I couldn't find out that answer. But it did keep me up on Monday night. Thank you.
I'm sorry about that, man.
I'm sure. Like, oh my God.
How it'll get done?
I'm like, SAG won't do me like that. They're not going to do me like that. I don't even need to check. I know it. It's a good union. And then, then I'm like, and then it's like, oh, here comes the mask, comes off again. And now I'm like, put on the hat, the tinfoil hat, and get a little like, oh, but what if not? What if they just want to take my money?
Well, you know how that can be solved real quickly? I can get this to happen for you immediately. Okay. Tell your wife about it.
Okay, yeah, please tell her.
Yeah, if you tell your wife about it, she will find out, and she'll have that Googled in about 35 seconds. Goes, yes, it goes to me, and then it goes to your son. Because, there are a lot of people don't know the laws that based on kid actors and things like that. And it started with Jackie Coogan a long time ago.
Yeah, the famous Jackie Coogan.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know Jackie Coogan was also, he played Uncle Fester.
Uncle Fester was the old bald man.
Yeah.
That was a child?
That was Jackie Coogan later in life.
Oh, okay.
You see what happens when your parents steal all your money? That's what you look like.
I mean, people don't realize this as they go on and they've done these shows. When you're a kid, they're supposed to put that money away for you. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know. You did Ryan's Hope.
6 to 8, I think. Yeah. I started when I was 6 in 1988. That was one of my first jobs. I did it until it ended.
Now, soap operas are very fast paced.
I picked up at the wrong end of that one. If I was only born 2 years earlier, man, I would have been able to pay for summer graduate school too.
I know they brought you back for the finale. They don't do that a lot of times. They bring you back to like close up storylines when they know a show's going to end. Mm. And I mean, that must be weird. You're going, okay, I was written off, but they want me back for what, one show, or was it like a couple shows?
Well, I think what happened was, if my 6 or 7 year old brain remembers correctly, I think my father was blown up. I think he died. I think it was one of those, Daddy didn't come home, and then they're like, well, we don't need to show the family life anymore because that's sad.
Sad life. Yeah.
That's a kind of soap opera death. I mean,
And then
that's
at
a soap
the end,
opera.
and then at the end, it was like, well, the show's ending. Miraculously, he's alive.
Now, this is a legal show, so people, it's not going to be like, I can't play the music. We're legally not allowed to do the bump bump. That sound.
Oh yeah, copyright.
Oh, really?
That sound is
But what if-
copyrighted.
But what if you go bum 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 bum?
We'd be
Yeah.
good, but I watched
The
Eminem.
Vanilla
I
Ice.
watched, Vanilla Ice argue, watching him trying to explain how he didn't steal the riff, and it was so
Yeah.
hard. It was just, and
If
he
you
wrote the
add,
check.
just all you add is one extra closed hi-hat hit, and it's no longer under pressure. I don't think so.
Yeah, watch. I'm fully by it. What bum bum bum? Maybe I could throw one, and I could wait a minute. I changed it by 1/3.
Yeah.
I added an extra bump. What? Here's the rule with law. Once you're having to make that argument, you've already lost. Okay, because you're already in a courtroom trying to explain that, and you've already
Okay, I'm
forked
sorry,
over enough.
Jeff. I'm just writing that down.
Yeah.
Okay? that's free, right? I'm not going to be
Yeah.
charged for that.
He's doing the show in exchange for legal advice.
Exactly. I'll help you out with your pension later. It'll be great.
Oh, good.
All right. Now, a lot of people, when actors have legal problems, they think they have these high attorney. I got this attorney at $1,000 an hour. I'm rich. I'm going to sick him on it. But, law is expensive. And what was kind of funny is Danny was telling me a story about how him and his dad had Giants tickets, New York Giant tickets. And a lot of people don't know you have to fork out money. You have to, you have to pay licensing fees. You pay all this nonsense. And normally you split it with another dude. You're going, hey, him and we're going to split tickets. We'll share tickets. Well, Danny tells me about this guy, and we're not going to mention his name because I don't want to put Danny on but the guy sold the tickets out, right out from under Danny and his dad. They took this great moment, and Danny wanted vengeance. So tell me what you did, Danny.
You let something like that fester and sit. The only positive that came from any of that at the beginning was the fact that the Giants have been tanking ever since he took our tickets. So we've actually been saving money because any of the games that we couldn't go to, we would have never been able to sell for at least face value. So we would have lost money on top of that season after season after season.
But that didn't stop you. That didn't stop you, though.
No, it didn't. That wasn't good enough for me, Jeff. That wasn't good enough. And it was just so frustrating. And again, truth be told, it was probably my dad's fault for not transferring the tickets into his name.
Never say that online.
When we threw that,
to
but we don't tell. That's not what we said. Anything we said, this is not right. We paid. The New York Giants had all of our stubs and payment stubs from all the years that came from my dad's, account and everything like that. And he wanted to go to a game one time and he couldn't because
we
we
were just showing up to the game and they
we
go,
had
you got
sold
no
the
tickets?
ticket. Yeah. So it was just like that thing. Like maybe once a year he would be like, hey, I need tickets. And usually we'd help him out. One time I couldn't help him out. He got mad, called the Giants, took my dad's name off of the tickets and then changed everything. So he basically swiped him out from under us. And we had, like I said, we had paid the $4,000 in personal seat licenses for these tickets. So we were like, just give us that back. And you guys, a very well-spoken older Irish gentleman. So he's just so nice. He's like, oh, no, Danny, don't worry. I'll take care of it. I promise. No, we'll make it good. No, we're going to make sure we do. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, don't worry about that. No, just I'm just going to get myself inside, and don't, just saying all sorts of nonsense, but making it sound like he was being very polite about it. Well, coronavirus made everything okay for us because everything went online. And because this guy moved out of state, we filed a lawsuit with him out of state, which meant that I could do it online and I could file all the papers. And I didn't have to really pay much. I didn't have to pay a lawyer to do anything because it was like, hey, if you need to do this, small claims like under $5,000, like click here. Here's the file.
Click here. How great is that? The internet. Click here. There was an emoji. It's great.
Basically, yeah, this poor guy didn't know what hit him. He's like, if you thought the internet was cool 20 years ago, it's really biting him now. So yeah, we were just basically
So he goes
able to
through the whole
file,
process.
And we got a court date, and the day before the court date, we just kind of pressed him and said, look, like here's all the receipts, man. Like this isn't gonna end well. So let's just not deal with it and pay up. So he mostly paid up. But I feel like after all those years,
see, we did that.
Bum.
Yeah.
Sorry for the long-winded story, but it's true.
That was the
Somebody
NFL
stole
theme.
our
We can't
ticket.
use that.
We got him. Well, we didn't even get him back. He hated the fact that he was losing money on those tickets too, that he actually gave the seats back to the New York Giants. If he had only just sent us an email, we would have gotten him back, and then we could have figured out if we were going to get rid of him. truth be told, we wouldn't be able to sell those $1,000 PSL, so it worked out pretty good.
It's called karma, Danny.
Yeah.
That's the good thing. It's called karma when stuff. People come to me all the time and they're like, I want to sue. I want to do this. But the minute you tell them they have to do something, they go, oh, I thought you would just do it all for me and I wouldn't have to pay you. I'm going, this is a job, right? And they look at you, well, law's not a job. All you do is talk. And you don't quite know how to say it, but I've told people to go to small claims court, I would say maybe 10,000 times in my life. And
yeah.
Danny is one of 3 people who actually did it. And he won. So that just goes to show you. Sometimes it is the principle.
I didn't know you could just point, click, internet, sue people. Now I'm going to sue people all the time, Jeff.
Well, I think once they start lifting those mandates and they start getting people back on track to say, hey, in person now. I mean, I just got sent jury duty here in New York, so they're getting back to it.
Yeah, people always ask me what happens if they don't show up. I like to tell you that is the only great thing about being a racist is you never have to worry about being on a jury. They ask you, hey, do you have any problems with this guy? Yeah, he's Jewish.
Yeah,
I don't like him.
I do actually. I am biased towards that person.
Yeah.
Okay, see ya.
Yeah, all you got to do is say a bunch of racist stuff and you'll never be picked for the jury. I mean, I'm not saying to get your Nazi on. I'm just talking about
curb your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think that's the fun part.
Larry David decides that he's just not going to be a juror, so he says some pretty racist stuff.
It's so funny because most attorneys will tell him, just get a little racist, you won't get on. But now let's talk about the internet because as my deep dive into the brilliance of Danny, it said, do you want to know Danny's net worth? I was going, sure, I would love to know what Danny gets paid. And they gave me a figure, and I won't say what that figure is. And the thought is going, now, I don't trust the internet for my knowledge, so I'm trying to figure out whether H&R Block turns you in or how they could even come up with, I'm sure you've looked at that number and you're going, I don't have that. Or, you know what? I'm glad they're saying this because I have a lot of people trying to take my money.
Oh, well, I'm just going to use my poker face. I mean, I'm not telling everybody what I'm worth. I guess you can find out how much money I've had over the years. But if you don't know how much money I'm spending, how the hell do you know?
Exactly. You could be a degenerate gambler. They have no idea.
Somebody stole all my Bitcoin. That's mistaken.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys don't know how fat my crypto wallet is.
Now this is funny because I mentioned this and you automatically knew this existed. Now, have you ever checked out a friend of yours and just wondered, going, hey, they say I'm worth this much. How much is the other people I did Mighty Ducks worth?
Well, I'll tell you what, Lori Beth Denberg is pretty upset that it says that I make more than she does because she's older than me. So she assumes her classism is ageism also.
That glass ceiling, man. Even Google,
even with fake money, it's real. Yeah, it's too bad.
Man. Yeah, even with that fake money, I need to have more of that fake money.
Sorry, Larry Beth, you only make 80% of this fake money because you're a woman. Sorry.
Now, we talked about things, and I said we wouldn't talk about anything that dealt with, any issues. I don't like to surprise guests. I think that's a nonsense thing to do.
But here we go.
So here we're going to talk about your porn. No, we're going to talk about
my gotcha moments.
Yeah, I did mention because, as a child actor, you watch some people go through a tough path and they have legal issues, and then you listen to other people comment on those people's legal issues in a negative way, and you actually stood up and said, hey, listen, when Amanda Bynes had trouble, leave this alone. You shouldn't be commenting on stuff like this.
Yeah, there's no reason. Everyone has their business. Ours is, luckily mine isn't. Nobody cares as much about my life as people care about Amanda's life. But there's a lot behind the story. There's a lot going on in the story. There's a lot, foreshadowing to other things from that story. And particularly people just calling the kettle black is a ridiculous thing to say. It's very difficult, it's very difficult to grow up the way that we grew up if you don't have a good head on your shoulders or people around you to make sure that you're safe and you're protected. There are things that I didn't do that wasn't able to do that probably would have made more money and was more adult stuff oriented. But, my mom thought it was, some things were not acceptable to do. And she used to say she didn't want me to end up on a psychiatrist's couch one day because of something that she did. And not all parents are created equal that way in this business. And sometimes people forget that if you're a kid who doesn't hang around with a bunch of kids and do normal stuff, you're going to have trouble adapting and socializing in